We're back, cross-examined with Mike Troiano. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, to our billions, if not trillions of viewers at this point of the podcast, we have another special guest with an S at the end here. We have the firm of Cox and Wilson. We have Shane and Justin who are on today. Gentlemen, please introduce yourselves to this crew.
My name is Shane Cox. I am an attorney. Just like Mike, maybe competing attorneys, right? We compete over the same clients, but
Competition's good. It's healthy.
Competition's good. Yeah. Mike's a cool guy. Had him on our podcast recently, so we're coming back on. I know Mike likes to have guests and talk about legal stuff and random stuff
and some illegal stuff.
I'm part owner of Cox and Wilson Law Firm with Mr. Wilson next to me, licensed here in Nevada. I primarily do personal injury law. My dad was an Air Force officer. I lived all over. Retired here in Vegas, been here a while, and we just like helping out people and doing a job and helping.
So mainly on the PI side for your prestigious firm, and then also you guys are doing. He's laughing. I'm trying to be serious here. And
you keep saying stuff that's like kind of true, but also kind of.
We're newer. We're newer, right?
How do you know when you're like prestigious
in your mind?
Whoa, then fuck yeah.
Right?
Fake it till you make it. Is that what they say?
They say fake it till you make it. That's a common theme. And then you just got to wake up and look in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful. People like me and I'm going to do a good job, right? Like a little Rodney Danger.
Make friends and influence people.
And you mentioned, and I apologize I didn't bring it up in my tiny mini intro, but you guys are also the host of the wildly successful podcast, Tangled
also
Rights.
Trillions of viewers.
Trillions of viewers. Yeah, we just got into the trillions last week with Austin. He's really doing a great job. So appreciate that brief introduction.
Justin? So I grew up in Southeast Kansas, blue-collar family, grew up on a ranch, went to the Marine Corps after high school. After the Marine Corps, just like everybody else, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Got a undergraduate degree that was basically useless. Went to Australia to play.
What was that useless degree?
It was a dual major, psychology and theater performance.
Theater, I don't know. You're on a podcast. You got to do a little theater, even though you got to be your true self, as they always say.
In trial. Speaking to people. So from the public speaking perspective, obviously I have no issues there because,
In psychology, you got to read people's minds. I don't think those are useless. I mean, bachelor degree in itself may be useless, but it got you to the law degree.
It got me somewhere,
So please continue.
And then as we were talking about before, because you said you jokingly that the academic scholarship to Syracuse didn't seem probably accurate. But so I scored lower than everybody that I've ever met except for one person on the LSAT. I got a 149. I just didn't. I took it while I was at work, or I prepped for it while I was at work. I read a book and then I went and took it. Did terrible. So I sent out applications. I didn't want to take it again, and I only got accepted to a few local schools, and one of them was Oklahoma City University in Oklahoma. And then I transferred to Syracuse because I was in the top 10% of my class. I think I was like in the top 6%.
Okay, so then that gives me a little bit more context on the academic scholarship because I recall after my first year of law school, I went to Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, or some people like to call it Duquesne, just because they don't know how to pronounce French words or whatever the heck it is. But it's a small Catholic Jesuit school, whatever you want to call it, in downtown Pittsburgh. And after the first year, there were several students that were getting poached to other schools because they would give you like partial or full rides, and then the school would obviously try to match that, or hell, now with NIL, they might give you a Benz, if they want to keep you, and you can play, if you could play ball too. So that was your linchpin. You did the first year of law school, and then Syracuse took you over. Small connection. I applied to Syracuse, did not get in. I applied to many schools because a very close friend of mine who I have a lot of respect for as a person and intelligence-wise only applied to UNLV, didn't get in his first year around, and I'm like, I'm not waiting. I'm on the fast track to getting in adulthood and getting a real job and being a lawyer. You kind of breezed over the Marine thing. We got another Marine in here, Jay in the back. You guys want to do a hoorah?
Hoorah.
Hoorah. Yeah.
Yut.
So,
I was in the infantry.
Tell us a little bit more about that, because I think any armed service is impressive, but the Marines have, I don't know, a special place in my heart, but I just think they're badasses. So tell me about it.
They can be. So I signed up 2 days after I turned 17. The recruiter had been talking to me since I was 16. I took my ASVAB and I did very well on it, which is shocking considering how I do on other standardized tests. And I remember that he came in and he was like, okay, you're Your AFQT was a 96. You can do pretty
Tell
much.
our people what an AFQT is.
AFQT is your overall score out of 99. So basically, they look at your score, and then I think it's the GQ is the intelligence portion, like your whatever. So there's two scores that matter. Your overall score, 1 to 99, which I think you get 17 points for signing your name right. It's right, but the point is that they have people like I ran into another kid when I was in the infantry who I think he scored a 23 out of 99, which you have to almost try to get. He was in what we called an ASVAB waiver. That means like the minimum score for the infantry, which is like the grunt, the ground pounder, knuckle.
Was his first name Forrest?
No. No, his first name was Jeremy.
Jeremy, okay.
So they give you a waiver for certain things. Like if you had pneumonia as a kid, or if you had, let's say, a criminal history, you get a waiver for these things.
Okay.
His was an ASVAB waiver. So yeah, I did very well. The recruiter comes in and he's like, these are the jobs that are available to you. You could do this. And I was like, do you guys have infantry jobs available? And he starts drooling, because it's 2003. And he's like, yeah, you would like that? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'd love to do the infantry. I read a book when I was 12 called Semper Fidelis by a guy named Johnny Clark. He was in Vietnam. He was a machine gunner. It was historical fiction, but it was like based on his accounts when he was there. And when I read that, I knew that I wanted to join the infantry. So I did. Shipped out right after high school.
You don't have broad enough shoulders to be a machine gunner, right?
I could have.
You could have?
I knew some little guys that were machine gunners. And honestly, if I could go back and I was going to stay in the infantry, that's what I would have done. I was a 0351 assaultman, Smaughan Dragonfire, which they don't even have anymore. And it wasn't even effectively used, because we weren't fighting a traditional military. It's not like somebody with tanks and stuff.
Well, the reason I bring up the broad shoulders is because I just watched a documentary on Netflix called, I think it's just called Marine or Marines, and it's modern day. Have you heard of it?
Is it that stupid one about boot camp?
No, I saw that.
Because I didn't watch it, but I heard a bunch of shit about that, and I'm not going to watch it.
This is a document. This is a documentary. It's just called Marine or Marines. Okay. It's currently on Netflix, and I think it's like 4 or 5 parts, about an hour each, and it's like recent time. Like I'm pretty impressed of just the access they were able to get. They're on naval ships. Like they talk about all this stuff, and part of it they talk about different sectors of the Marines, and they show the machine gunners, and those dudes are like offensive linemen in the NFL, broad shoulders. And so I thought that was like the requisite, but you knew some small guys who were able to do that?
I knew a couple of smaller guys. Okay. Obviously, if you're carrying a 240, the weapon itself is 24 pounds empty. So it's a pretty heavy weapon, especially if you're walking 12 miles, you throw on ammunition, all that other stuff. But if you're talking more like your Ma Deuce, your 50 cal, you break it into pieces. So it's a crew serve weapon rather than like an individual thing, because not one person is going to carry the M250 cal. It's just not going to happen. It's too heavy. You have the tripod, you have the weapon itself, and then if you're getting into like Mark 19s and stuff, it's just not possible.
So the 50 cal in the name, 50 caliber ammunition and bullets. What about the other one that you just mentioned, 24?
240.
240, excuse me.
It was a 240 Golf, and now it's a 240 Bravo, if I remember correctly. They switched it early 2000.
And what's the caliber or size of the ammunition?
7.62.
Okay.
It's so you have your SAW, squad automatic weapon, which is a 5.56. It shoots the same size projectile as the M4, or what's the new one? They just switched, huh? Well, the M16 A1, M16 A2, M4. Now they got a new one, a new battle rifle, which they just came out with.
I think it'd just be drones just shooting each other at this point.
There's that too, dude. And like when you look at the stuff that's going on over in like the Ukraine, which it's crazy to see a war in 4K, bro. Terrifying. Like one of the things that I don't even like, we don't even really talk about it anymore. Like I'm getting rid of my license plate. I'm covering up my moto tat. Like my son is not going to know that we're a military family, that my dad was in the Air Force, that my grandpa was in the Army, that my people have served. We're not doing that because I'm not sending him into something like that. Like it's fucking awful. These boys are dying in trenches in 2025, 2026. They're still, I think there's a ceasefire right now. They might be getting peace. But I watched a video of a drone dropping white phosphorus on dudes in the trench. Ooh. White phosphorus is 3,000 degrees and it just is raining fire on them. So I'm kind of good on all that stuff, man. Like when I see what's going on right now, I'm like, the infantry sounds like a terrible idea.
It kind of seems like I talked to my family some like about joining military, like looking at that as an option. And my mom was so against it. And I think being a dependent, a spouse of it, like just seeing how rigid everything is tough. Like if I think some people need it, I don't think I needed it.
I needed it
personally.
100%.
What branch was your father in?
He was Air Force. So he was enlisted and then became an officer. So we did 20 years of that.
Did you guys live on the base in Nellis?
We didn't live when we moved here. It was the tail end, so we did temporarily live on base. But then my parents bought a house. Okay. Like they knew it was going to be my dad's last stop, so kind of for the first time planted roots here. But I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like lawyers, we always say, I don't want my kid to be a lawyer either. True. Or whenever you meet somebody going to law school or thinking about law school, when I was thinking about it, I heard a ton of lawyers say, "Are you sure? Like, do you want to do something else?" Like,
so
I think the problem with that is, and not for the military side, I'll kind of get back to that, or at least I don't have military experience, but my family tree. But as what I can relate to on the legal side of things, and you guys tell me if you agree or disagree. I have daughters. They're very young, so I don't know what they're going to want to do or where they're going to go. I don't know if I would necessarily discourage them from the law, but I would also make it very clear too, is like one, criminal defense, what we do is very difficult. All areas of law, but you're literally dealing with life or death. That's difficult in and of itself.
And liberty for such a period of time that it might as well be life or death if it's not literally life or death.
Absolutely. And I always tell people they call and they're upset, and the first call, and I'm like, listen, I get it. I don't sell vacations. That's what I tell them to kind of break the ice. Like nobody wants to call the law office of Mike Troiano. Yeah, use it. Take it.
No, I'm not going to take it. Mine is always like, it's a Midwest thing. How's it going? And they'll be like, well, not very good. And I'm like, you know what? It's a Midwest nicety. I know if you're calling me, you're having a bad day. Let me see if I can make it better.
Absolutely.
But it's literally, it just falls out of me. Oh, how are you doing?
Oh, yeah. I do. Yeah, especially even when you're sharing good news, it's like, But from that aspect, I don't know if I would advise my daughters against it if that's something they really wanted to, but I would also have more of a plan, right? Because I think a lot of people that, we knew and have known jump into it saying, I'm just going to be a lawyer. And they have no idea what that means or what they're getting into. They think they're going to be a lawyer, they're going to get this magic law degree, and then they're going to be rich. And let's face it, you have to work your ass off, be good at all kinds of different things, business, marketing, you name it, in order to
personal relationships.
Personal relationships
that is
as well.
So important.
What are those?
Just being a person and a human with these clients and stuff, right?
So back to the military thing, because I can kind of see the cross section of there. Not only have you experienced both, but those are, obviously military going to fight is not even close to equaling what you're going to be doing for law school, putting your life on the line. But there are life decisions and paths that you take. Did your father, being an Air Force vet, push you into that? Like, what was that like growing up as far as, because it sounds like your mom had enough of that lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't want that for her son. But what was your dad's point of view?
Didn't you guys move around a ton?
And I was on the tail end because I'm younger, right?
Right.
I'm younger, one of the younger siblings. My older brothers, tons of different schools.
So even just that aspect, like if you're PCSing, which means you're changing duty stations, some people do it like every 3 years. That's a lot. If you're doing 20 years and let's say you have your kid year 4 of your career, that's 16 years of every 3 years moving.
Oh yeah.
That's, you're going to have to change stuff. I mean, even if you're not in a combat role, let's say you're in some administrative role with the Air Force, you stay stateside, you never have to go to a foreign duty station or whatever. That's still, probably kind of shitty.
Yeah, like unless you get hooked up and you get to go like to the Riviera or Italy or something like that.
Yeah, sure. K-Bay.
Check a box or something.
There were guys straight out of SOI that got K-Bay, and I was like, you motherfuckers. Kenoe Bay in Hawaii.
Oh wow. Okay.
Which seemed like it'd be a cool place to go, but apparently, that's when you're fresh out of SOI, you think, oh man, you're going to Hawaii.
Cool for the first couple weeks. After that,
you're on an island. Yeah, everybody says they're bored.
That's funny because my family and I, we go to Maui pretty often, and we've been a bunch and been fortunate, and it's a great place. And my wife always wants to stretch it to like 9-10 days, and it's like day 6.5 is when I'm like island fever. I'm like, all right.
Pre or post burn?
Huh?
Probably post burn.
Burn?
The island catching on fire.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. You're quick with the uptake here. We've gone prior and since.
Okay, I only went before, and it was lovely.
It's still lovely. Obviously, that was a tragedy. What happened in Lahaina? People lost their homes, lives. The rebuilding is slow. Probably not as slow as California is going to be, but that's a whole other story.
It's never going to happen. Bro.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast, as we like to say here on the thing. So back to my main question: how did you and your pops navigate those conversations?
So I don't think my dad was too opinionated about that. I think he would have been proud to have one of his sons join the military and go that route, because he did 20 years, and doing 20 years in military is a long time.
It's a career.
And it's a lifestyle and a mindset. And like, my dad was a military guy, right? Like, had systems and being on time was so important, and just like
Did you have to make your bed every morning?
no.
They make you stand on line.
No.
I was thinking that
I can't go to POA because I'm in the chair, but
I've been visiting that dad from American Beauty that walks in and makes him piss in a cup like every Friday.
No, thankfully, I was one of the better kids that they had.
How many siblings total?
I have 3 brothers.
3 brothers?
Three brothers.
No sister? He had all
All
boys.
boys.
Okay, yes,
All
sir.
boys.
Oh, I'm doing the wrong. Yes, sir.
All boys.
Ma'am, I want boys, and that's it.
And no military kids, right? No military
That's
kids.
funny.
So
Okay.
I wasn't the problem child at all, so they didn't worry about me. I was pretty good.
did you get kind of just disregarded and like?
No, I
abandoned, if
wouldn't
you
say
will?
I was disregarded either.
Is that where some of the issues come from? Why aren't you texting me back? Are you mad at me?
No.
I'm kidding. I made that up. He doesn't do that.
So, I mean, my interest in the law, I think, came from just like a good career choice. Like, I didn't know what to do.
He's a math major. He's
I was-
hyper practical, man.
I was
Come
a
on.
math major. I'm real practical. Like, and everybody said, hey, this is just good. There's options after law school. Like, it's just a good degree. If
So you have a
don't-
bachelor's of science and mathematics?
That is correct.
Nerd
Yeah.
alert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
press,
but
press the button,
Yeah, but
Austin.
why is my question to you, if you're so practical, why didn't you take the fucking patent bar?
Well, math is not one of the majors where you can automatically get patent because
okay.
it's not like a practical science. It's so theoretical, right? It's just you're just talking about things that aren't even real in a math
But
major.
like they are because
They are, but
they're utilized in, I don't know,
They aren't.
fucking physics.
yeah,
Shit
it's the
that I don't
basis for
understand.
that real stuff. So physics, chemistry, biology, all that stuff is you automatically apply
Sure.
for the patent bar, or you would have to take another test
Right,
to be
right,
able to
right.
do it. So
Would
I
you
don't
have
know.
had to take additional classes? Like I know you can do it. You have to have like STEM classes.
I never looked that hard into it,
No.
so I don't know for sure.
I've just heard it's a cushy ass area of the legal field.
Patent?
Yeah, 40-hour work weeks, good money. You're never going to get.
What are you going to do with those other 20 to 40 hours you should be working?
I don't know. Have hobbies.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay. All right.
20 to 40 hours, dude. That sucks.
mean-
It's so real though.
It is really, you got to grind. So mathematics major. Okay, I learned something new about you today.
Yeah, one of the few. I mean, there was one other in law school, so which was surprising because a lot are poli sci. He wasn't in law school with me.
okay.
There was another guy, but poli sci, English, history, like all
history?
of those guys were in law school
What's
with us.
the
So.
history?
You know what's funny about that? The history, and I was going to comment on that. A couple things that our trillions of viewers might not know. All you need is a bachelor's degree, 4-year degree, hopefully, very likely a high GPA, and then you take the LSAT to get into law school. That's prerequisite. And it doesn't matter what the bachelor is. So you could have mathematics. I had criminal justice. The history one, I'll never forget. I had a bio class, and it's like probably sophomore year of college, and my bio partner was just really quiet, but like nice guy. Like we knew we weren't going to go get beers afterwards, but we got along very well. And I was like, "Oh, you're graduating. What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to law school." I'm like, "Oh, what was your major?" Because I knew it was in biology. This was low level stuff. And he's like, "History," and he kind of educated me. And that basically you can get any degree, that you just have to have the high thing. And his core memory, I still remember this 20 plus years later when he finished up. He's like, "Oh, good luck in law school. I'm sure we'll catch up and I'll see you one day." And he's like, "Probably not, but good luck to you too." He was just very like
very
reality.
practical,
He's like, "No, we're probably never gonna cross paths, but good luck." I was like, "Yeah, okay, all right, man." It's like-
Doesn't understand
Like,
the niceties, the
no,
personal relationships.
but he was a great lab
that are
partner,
important.
man.
like
We got to
like
work together.
Drax from fucking what is that? The Avengers movie, the
Guardians?
Guardians. Yeah, where
Guardians
he's
of
like
the Galaxy.
nothing goes over my head.
So you're gonna
my
now-
reflexes are too fast.
Now
I
I
would
have
catch
to
it.
confess to our trillions of viewers, I've never watched a Marvel movie or an Avengers movie.
Do you not like
That's
entertainment and fun?
I like the mafia genre. I'm an Italian American, so I look at the old days when we weren't respected in this fine country, and now we've built it
Did
and
your
taken
family
over.
have to change their name?
No, my last name's Troiano. I don't think you can add too many more vowels to the name that's already there. My grandfather immigrated legally from Italy when he was 15 years old, did not speak English, came over from at Ellis Island, and learned the language, started tailor shop, worked in the steel mills, and 2 generations, here we
Pittsburgh.
are.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
sure.
Yeah, steel country, or
Yeah.
at least it used to be. Now they
Yeah.
got more of the fracking stuff going on.
Right. Well, I don't know. It's just one of those things, and you meet people who like their name would have had a ski on the end of it or whatever. You can pick the Polish at certain points, the
Polish.
German, the Italians, the mix. They dropped that. I think the Scottish had to drop shit at a certain point, like because everybody was kind of oh, we hate you now, and now we hate you, and now we hate you. So I've heard that from a few people who's Italian. Their name changed.
Oh yeah, that's very common. I mean, you watch the movie Godfather. It's what I'm watching that for the 50th time instead of catching these new adventure movies. Is
So-
the last name is Corleone. When he comes to Ellis Island, the famous scene, he comes there. He's a little boy, and what's your name? And he's from the city of Corleone, and so they just make that his last name.
Sure.
So Vito Corleone, and they take away I think it's Andolini or something similar to that. Was
So you're gonna
his last
hate
name.
this.
I'm gonna hate it.
You're gonna hate it.
Oh, I don't hate anything.
I've never seen those movies.
I feel
think I
bad
watched.
for you.
I think I
don't
watched
know.
a couple of scenes from The Godfather, and people talk about it with reverence. I know I need to see it. I just never did. I don't know why.
I think we need to do an exchange. You're going to give me an Avengers movie I have to watch, and then you watch The Godfather. And
I don't think you have to watch Avengers movies. They're so like low, like they're entertainment. It's entertainment. It's not like
Bro,
It's
Thanos.
not like a film.
Like what?
Thanos is.
Wrestling.
Wrestling. Okay.
No.
The humor is just like they're all sarcastic. They all have the same personalities. Like
All right.
it's good.
This episode
There's
is
a reason
not
it's
brought
so
to you by
popular.
Marvel Comics.
No.
Whatever, dude. They're fun. If you like fun stuff, you'll enjoy
Hey,
it. If
they're
I think
fun.
one thing we all agree on: this job, being a lawyer, as insane and high pressured as it is, on the PI side, multi-millions of dollars at stake. On the criminal side, people's life and liberty and freedom at stake. It is stressful, and you need a healthy outlet. And unlike many of our brethren, alcohol, drugs can be a big part. They have, lawyers concerned for lawyers. It leads to that, but that can't be the crutch because you're not going to last too long in this field, and you need
It'll eat
outlets. Hunting that you like to do,
Jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu. I like to play men's league hockey. Spend time with my kids. I mean, watch. The Godfather for the 50th time.
Is
Any
it
of
the
these
horse
kind of
head that
things.
really does it for you?
I'm sorry, the horse head?
Is that what does it for you?
Yeah. I send my line out and he protects me.
Nice.
All the horses. No, I think it's
Compartmentalizing also is not a
the
good-
move, the chess moves
Sure.
in that movie. It's very high level, and although it's violent and romanticizes crime in a certain extent, and I think at least for me as an Italian American, it shows how we used to be and we were perceived in society, and I think how modern day that has changed and can change for any immigrant group in my
That is
mind.
kind of funny that there's like this culture thing that got associated with organized crime, and then there was this stereotype with people. You'd see somebody, and like you look at other movies, right? Like The Untouchables,
Yeah.
right. When he's talking about what's his face, Sean Connery is like, the way that they talk. I don't know. It's just really interesting how I think that like media or movies influenced the way that people are just going to perceive another ethnicity. I guess you're white, so it's not another ethnicity, but another nationality, right? Another national origin. It's so strange to me.
So another funny thing you said. So you said, I guess you're white, and I think that's pretty apparent from the color of my skin. I'm not the most tan guy,
Right.
Around. Although some Italians and especially Sicilians can be very dark skinned. Some more northern, closer to Switzerland, are blonde hair, blue eyes.
Sure.
But I read a book and I did a report, whatever you want to call about it, while I was in undergrad, and if I remember the title correctly, it's pretty close to this. Again, we're going 20 plus years now. Is like, are Italians white? How race is made in America? And again, it talks about yes, like most of them are more fair skinned. I'm not gonna say they're
Right.
African American or anything like that, but a new immigrant group coming to the land of the free and assimilating and going through that process, and it's like. It goes through that because Italians were lynched, they were hung. I mean, there's a whole history of that through the United States. So it's kind of interesting, but a little off point. I want to get more on point. What made you guys decide to get together and do both criminal and PI?
It's funny. I literally almost just did that to you. That's why.
That's why?
No,
Okay.
we're very different.
The gentle moments when no one's around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'm not even going to tell you what happened earlier this morning. I'll tell you we're not on camera. It was very
Good
funny.
morning, sweetheart. It's Friday.
Not quite like that. So we're very different, but we also get along very well.
Good.
And the biggest thing for me, and I've said this to him a million times, I don't think he not that he doesn't believe it, but I don't think he hangs his hat on it enough because one of our staff members is always like, how do you guys? Because sometimes we bitch at each other, we argue, whatever.
A lot.
I trust him.
Trust.
I trust him, implicitly. There's nothing that it could happen. There's guys that you can trust with your money, but you wouldn't trust with your girl, and vice versa. He's got all the things.
I think
Like my kid, no problem.
That's
No
a
problem.
thinker there. Trust with your money and not with your girl.
Well, tell me you don't know dudes like that from college. Where
Oh,
it's
no,
like,
I-
or whatever. you
No,
know?
that's why it kind of stopped me in my tracks. I'm like, I actually got to like walk through
That's
that.
where that academic scholarship comes from.
There you go, man.
out.
It's deep.
I think that's more of just living life.
My
as,
brain
as a
works.
male, no one go, hey, we're homies, we're drinking buddies, or you know what,
Yeah.
we can get into business together. But no, you're not taking my girl to the airport.
Yeah,
we're
no,
good on that.
I think you trust me with both anyway. But.
No, that's the point. I trust.
Yeah.
There's nothing I wouldn't trust you with.
So we met at another attorney's law office. We were working there. I started after Justin did, like a month after.
so you were coworkers.
So we're newbies.
No, we were a team. We were a litigation team.
But yeah, coworkers. You worked in the
coworkers.
same firm on the same team.
Right.
Yeah, got it.
Right.
And I remember one day, Justin got a task from our boss, and our boss was a douche, like just a jerk. And he gave Justin a task to like
We'll tell you
write up
I had a joke, but go ahead.
write up some opposition to a motion, and he wanted it that day. But Justin, I think, had like he had a tournament or practice or a game or something for
Rugby.
rugby.
At the
And
time I was still playing rugby.
and you came like we
Color
were-
me shocked that Justin does rugby.
Yeah.
I mean, that is so
He
on
did.
brand.
He
I mean,
did.
Of course
I played
he
for
does.
15 years, man.
I mean, I believe it. I believe it.
And I came. We were talking about it, and I just offered, like, you know what? I'll do it. I can stay late. I don't have anything tonight, and I knew it was important that he was going to his thing. And it was one of the days where, thankfully, I didn't have anything that night, so I stayed
Minus
pretty.
8 kids.
I
but other than
had a few kids, but like it was something I just wanted.
Right,
to,
you need outside hobbies.
that- right, sure.
I just wanted to do that for him and not be a jerk and like just make a little sacrifice that
Yeah.
meant a lot to him. It felt like so I did that, and then we just stayed friends. Like we were just kind of just in that situation we were in at the firm, trauma bonded. Like they talk about trauma bonding, minorly, and we just kept in touch. He left first, and then I went to another firm too, and we just kept in touch, and we've just been friends, and we know it's like a sibling. Like I feel like we're siblings, basically.
Basically.
We fight like siblings.
we don't kiss like siblings.
We don't.
though.
What the? F-
I don't know what you're doing. Justin doesn't have any siblings,
I
so
don't
he
have
doesn't
any
know what
siblings.
it's
I don't know what
like.
you're supposed to do with your siblings. I don't know.
Is this what you do?
I don't like to do it.
I'm not
but
from
we might be
Missouri,
cutting that
all
one. I don't know.
I'm just being stupid.
He,
Man.
he is from Kansas, right?
Missouri, get it right.
Missouri,
Get it
excuse me,
right. They're the
Kansas
cousin
City,
fuckers.
Missouri.
So there was just that trust from the beginning where I, like,
Yeah.
I know he's the most like loyal person I've ever met in my life, right? So
Right.
I know even though we fight, he's loyal to me like no other. He'd fight for me behind my back if I'm not there. He'll say the same thing to you to your face as behind your back, right?
Well, I think that's important. That's a good quality, and I would agree. I think anything in adulthood, regardless of law, but if you put that on top of that, building a business from scratch, like you guys did together, like I've done with my team, loyalty is important not only with your partners but your entire team. And
Yeah.
and sometimes employees come and go, and in my practice, it hasn't been perfect, and I think what the first sign is when your gut, right? And it sounds a little old school. We're dealing with like analytics and numbers and this or that or whatever, but I would advise, and I don't know if you guys agree with this or not, but anybody that's building any sort of business, whether it's a partner or even in their mind, whatever, like the newest person, the lowest on the totem pole to their office, firm, business is, if they get even remotely a gut feeling, whether it's Tuesday night playing with the kids, Saturday afternoon trying to, play rugby or hockey or do whatever you want, or at the office, if you get that, it is time to cut bait and fire them and let them go. I've never had it worked out where that gut feeling came at any random time and it like fleeted, I
Right.
usually say, hey, sleep on it. Maybe I had a bad day. Each and every time it hasn't worked. If somebody gives you that ick, I guess that's what the kids call it these days,
Yeah.
the ick.
It's such a funny one. I love it. But
the
like,
zennials,
I
hey.
hate that I like some of their sayings, but
Right.
that one I actually don't hate very bad.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the ones I don't like because they'll stick in your head all day, but that one.
Dude, what the fuck is this?
Dude, no, we're not
I had a
getting-
judge do that to me in court because I said 6 one way, half a dozen the other, and she's like, "Oh, like this," and I'm like, "What the fuck are you?" I almost said "fuck" on the
You
record.
can cuss all you want. We are not allowing this, okay?
Dude,
That
I
is
almost.
prohibited.
Anyway, whatever.
Hey, this is Mike Troiano with Cross Examine. If you're looking for criminal defense in the state of Nevada, I am your guy. Go to our website, listed down below, TroianoVegasLaw.com.
Right.
So, do you guys, based on not only like your friendship and loyalty, I think that's what I was getting to in my long-winded reply, is that trust, that getting along, not getting along, brother relationship, however that may be, because that's how the sausage get made, and you don't want some monolithic thought and feeling, because let's face it, we're not always right as much as we want to pretend we are as lawyers. You need people that will challenge you and bounce off. Look at this guy.
Maybe you.
But
I'm kidding.
The loyalty
Sure.
is key, and I think that's the biggest word that I keyed on, that seems like the foundation of your friendship and your business partnership, which only grows your firm, your successful podcast, is loyalty. If you guys were advising other people, if it was Shane and Justin, a couple years prior to gearing this up, how would you advise or vet somebody? Because you guys don't just work in the same firm. You are partners. You are like financially, reputation wise combined. It's as close to a marriage as you're going to get.
Yeah, outside of my wife and kids, Justin's like, the number one most important person to me right now in my life, right?
Right.
So
Right now.
which is right. Well, it wasn't before when we became.
Yeah, but now it's forever.
Okay. All right.
You'll never leave me. I'm gonna crazy girl him a little bit.
I mean, you see so many horror stories, and like as attorneys, you see partnerships that break up and are ugly and messy. And
Can I say the quiet part out loud though? Like some of them, you see them, and it's like, what the fuck did you expect? Like you see them get into a partnership with this person, and their reputation. And obviously, I'm not talking about people who I don't know them, and they form a partnership and they're brand new.
Sure.
I'm talking like I knew this attorney, I knew him from reputation, I knew him from dealing with him myself. So not just things that people have told me, which I always take a grain of salt with. Because if I make you mad about something, and then you go to tell somebody, oh, Justin's like this, you're saying it, yes, maybe from your perspective, but also there's a little bit of feeling with it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, maybe when people talk about this attorney and say that he's mean or he's untrustworthy or he makes, fake promises to clients, maybe they're just like jilted a little bit. But you see these partnerships get to start and you're like, bro, what did you expect? If everybody says the same thing about him. Mm-hmm. What is Cat Williams? He has that line about Michael Jackson where he's...
So you still got in partnership with them, even though
Exactly.
everything they said about Justin.
Everybody said. Well, so the things that people say, I think the good thing that Shane just said about me is the thing that most people say about me, that I'm very loyal and that I'm going to give you straightforward what you're going to get.
But what's your advice? You got two
my-
Shane and Justin's
my
walking
advice-
up to you guys going, hey, you guys are killing it.
okay,
What should we do this or do it separately?
I have advice, right?
Yes,
and this
thank
is
you.
one
Thank you.
My bad.
I actually
I had a thought and I got
It's not. It depends. It's not.
Okay.
It depends. Get a partnership agreement. Like I would say, sit down with another attorney, and
Did he give you a cocktail napkin? Because that's what the vibes I'm getting. He's like, we're doing this and we're doing it tomorrow.
Southwest. No, the reason I'm laughing is because we talked about having a partnership agreement, and we went to an attorney and we like kind of gave the terms or whatever what we thought would be good. And this guy does this kind of law, and so he already had sort of a good framework for these sort of agreements. We've never actually finished it. That's why I'm laughing.
I think it's
because
the
we
basis,
brought it up like 10 times.
It's the basis of.
He's like, don't do what I do.
It's like any relationship where there's two different minds, and sometimes you don't communicate what's in those minds through your mouth, right? So if you have
your body.
if you have a partnership agreement, you actually get that written down and like, whoa, you thought that it would be like this? I thought it was going to be this way.
Sure.
Like I guess we never discussed this,
Right.
And came to an agreement on it, and then. In your partnership agreement, it always has some kind of clause of, well, how do we break this up when it happens? And that's the big unspoken that becomes the mess.
Sure.
When it doesn't work out for whatever reason. And that's a good test to say, is this going to work out? Are we agreeing to the same thing? Are we pulling the same weight? Or do we think it's, what we're getting out of it is the same what we're putting in? So I think that's one thing is people don't talk about the real terms. In getting a partnership agreement, actually meeting with an attorney that does this, that says, yeah, I've seen your guys' case like a million times. Everybody jumps in to a marriage, to a partnership, like a business partnership, same thing, eyes wide open, like this is going to be great, like nothing could go wrong.
Why would we need a prenup?
Yeah.
We're in love.
We're in love.
We're in
It'll
love,
never
baby.
change.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So have the hard conversations
Sure.
before work starts is what you're telling me.
Oh yeah, at least somewhere in the very beginning, like, and then you have something written up, so it's not up to a judge to say, hey, what's fair?
Yeah.
Because then you're paying attorneys. It's no, the contract says,
Yeah, what did you agree to?
This is what we're doing.
So I agree with his bit of advice, but my bit of advice would also be to really get to know them. Like you think you know somebody at work, and you might, but you need to be in situations that are weird You need to be in situations that are going to test their patience. You're going to see how they treat other people when they're not at their best, because that's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
Right. And so Shane, I'm sure, has been mad at me sometimes. He's been like, man, Justin was a real dick today.
Yes.
But he knew that was a thing before, we got into the partnership. And so I think that's important too. Cause like you think, and it's not that everybody like puts on a fake face at work, but you know how it is, man. You're at work. I'm not going to talk about these other things, or I'm not going to, bring up stuff.
It's not like the old days where you could smoke a cigarette and slap someone on the caboose, right? No.
Wow.
What, are you talking about the female secretaries?
The old lawyers. The old lawyers.
Sure. No, no, there is some of that. Like the old.
Hey, we don't discriminate. It could be a man. You don't know.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Does he squat?
Based on what you guys were talking about earlier, I don't know who's getting their butt grabbed at Cox and Wilson.
Just Shane.
Just Shane. Okay.
Yeah, just Shane. Yeah, it's not a big deal. He doesn't like it for some reason. Like, why do you always get weirded out whenever I do that?
It's my wife's property, bro. She's told me. Yeah.
You should have put it in the business partnership agreement,
we're
right?
still working on it so we could put it in there.
Okay.
Justin no longer can grab Shane's ass. Okay, whatever. It's not gay if you're brothers, dude. Like,
You don't have any siblings. It's so clear.
All right. On that note,
Has this been your most fun episode?
I'm having a good time. I'm having the best time.
he's like, and I'm getting fucking canceled. Thank you, Justin.
There you go.
That's a line from a movie, by the way. Goon, if you've never seen it, it's got the dude that played Stifler. It's a hockey movie.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not gay if you're brothers. And then the Canadian's like, if you're brothers, it's gay with a dash of something else, man. I've been playing hockey my whole life. Such a good movie.
Natural transition, Shane. Let's talk about your argument in front of the Nevada Supreme Court.
Okay.
How did you get there? Tell us about that, because not every lawyer has the opportunity to do it. Not every lawyer wants to do it, to be honest with you. But if you do it, why not talk about it?
Yeah. This was years ago. I wasn't prepared for this, but I used to do this dumb law.
It's crossfire.
I know. I'm on the spot, right? HOA foreclosure law was one of these big practice areas when I came out of law school.
Hey, wake up! I know it's HOA.
I know.
No,
So,
we have an HOA contract. We're general counsel for an HOA.
I am general counsel
We,
for
the
an
firm,
HOA.
him, whatever.
I used to do this.
We're gonna get into that.
I don't enjoy it at all whatsoever. Bought my house not in an HOA. Do not like HOAs at all.
hate HOA.
But it was just a new area of law, and people were interpreting things, and millions of dollars were on the line. And it just so happened that I had a case that went early to trial, like of the cases in HOA foreclosure.
This was the bankruptcy thing?
Not a bankruptcy thing, no.
We've talked about it. With
a foreclosure.
Okay,
A foreclosure. That happened.
priority. It was priority, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That happened to
I do
be
remember what we were talking
about.
one of the
Spray
cases
bottle like
that got appealed. And sometimes there's hundreds of cases that have the same issue.
Okay.
And there's like a test case that goes up on appeal, right? And everybody kind of wants to see what happens. So for whatever reason, I was lucky enough to be one of the counsel that got up on appeal that the Supreme Court said, hey, we want to hear oral argument on. That doesn't happen even in a lot of cases. Okay, there's not always oral argument.
And just
on
to clarify,
cases.
this is the Nevada Supreme Court.
This is the Nevada Supreme Court.
All right.
Yeah, Nevada
I don't want some haters in the comments saying, I chucked the docket. He wasn't in front of the United States Supreme Court.
Not the U.S. Supreme Court.
Okay.
And it was the Nevada Supreme Court en banc, so all 7 of them.
Great.
Sometimes they'll have panel decisions of just 3, but this was all 7 of them. So flew up to Reno, went to Carson City. I mean, you go up there for a 15-minute argument, but all the attorneys are on the same Southwest plane going from Vegas to Reno.
Did you guys like mean mug each other on the way up?
No, because I wasn't personally
They probably got
interested.
those airport shots,
okay.
or at least on the way home.
Just a little relaxed, on the way
Sure.
home. So, I mean, the big guys were there. DiGiacomo was arguing one right before me on a criminal case. So, as you know, Nevada Supreme Court hears criminal, civil, everything.
Yeah.
Right? So, big criminal hearing, big criminal argument I heard before and, was kind of not really zoning in on, at the time because I was focused on mine. But it's so much different. Like, I've never done anything like that. Like, just in law school, you have those practice arguments and stuff. But actually being in front of the Supreme Court, and I was a newer attorney, I felt like, and it was tough. And they asked questions, and you only get a little bit of time to explain yourself, and that's it. And then so you better be prepared and have like an exact roadmap of what you want to do. So it was interesting. I got pictures of me, being up there because I would say, less than 5% of barred attorneys have probably argued in front of their state Supreme Court.
Yeah,
So,
and it's a couple things. I mean, you have to be skilled, but it's not just down to that. Like you said, you have to have a case that like falls within that like narrow thing where there is an issue. Is there like a one line, non-lawyer way that you could explain like the key issue that you were arguing without us falling asleep?
Oh, I don't think so. It's whether an HOA foreclosure would extinguish your mortgage or not. Who has priority?
The priority in the lien
So
holder,
people
okay.
would buy houses for like $5,000, and they would be getting them free and clear because people didn't understand the law at the time.
Well,
so
wasn't it valid?
It's kind of like
it was
a hack.
legally valid at the time, right?
It was legally valid at the time. They didn't know. Well, the public didn't know. So it was like a legal hack where people got hundreds of thousands, of dollar homes for $3,000-$4,000. They would be bidding on these houses. So it was just a misunderstanding of law that some people kind of picked up on, and they didn't publish that because they bought a ton of these, hundreds of them. So that was the fight. These people wanted to get these houses free and clear for the $3,000 that they paid for them, and they were successful on a lot of them. So
Wow, that's
Some fools made a ton of money.
yep, made a ton of money. They closed that loophole afterwards, though, and
What did they end up doing with it?
they changed the law and they made it very clear.
But they had to go all the way back to the legislature.
The
like,
legislature
whole deal?
changed
Okay.
it. Yeah.
What happened in yours? Did you win or lose?
We were like a third party that didn't matter, so it didn't affect us. The final decision didn't really. It was between the bank and the person buying the home. The HOA was unaffected.
Oh,
So,
okay.
okay. You represent the HOA, but
Yes.
you still got to argue.
I still got to argue,
go up
yeah.
there, got your picture taken, and
Yep.
when clients come in, you're like, see that guy?
Yeah.
That's me. Supreme,
Exactly. Was that
Supreme
before
Court
you
every
got a
Friday.
No, I had done that same trial.
Okay.
But bench trial. We were always doing bench trials.
Okay, but
We weren't doing
you had
jury
never
trials.
done a jury trial at that point.
No.
Nice to go
Not
from
at that
bench
point.
trials to arguing en banc Supreme Court. That's
Yeah.
pretty-
They can get up in your grill.
but at least you had done the trial, so it's
I was the one that had done the
that's-
trial.
that's good.
Yep.
Now, Justin, you're in a unique position. You are mainly handling the criminal defense side of your firm, which is a hybrid of criminal and PI. But I've had people on the show, we'll continue to have people on the show that have done both or one areas of law through their careers, being the prosecutor and the defense attorney. But you are actively fulfilling two roles. You have your private criminal defense / PI firm with your partner, and you're representing private clients who retain you that have trouble with the law. Same thing that my firm does. But you're also a contracted prosecutor for the city of Boulder City. Can you tell us a little bit about how you fill both shoes at the same time? What's good about it? What are the challenges? Because again, some people, hey, I had a career as prosecutor, then I transitioned, or vice versa. But you're doing both at the same time. How do you manage that?
So it's actually a lot easier for me now to manage it, and I think to do it well, to do both jobs well, now that I've done both. When I started at the DA's office, and then I ended up having to go back to Kansas, and I prosecuted back there in Montgomery County, which is a county adjacent to where the county that I'm from, but it's the same district. Kansas has 105 counties. So if you look at it, it's like a lot, right? Most people are like, why do you need so many?
It's flat.
I don't know.
That's all I know.
The part I'm from, not really flat.
Really?
Yeah. The west part, yes. The east part, it's hilly like
I just
Missouri.
went straight through on my way to law
On
school.
70?
Yep, and I got pulled over going 104, and nice state trooper wrote me a ticket. Me going to law school did not persuade him to not issue a
Like,
citation.
look at all my stuff.
Okay.
So when I was a baby prosecutor, I think I was kind of an idiot, as many of them are. I think I misunderstood what I needed to be doing, right? And I didn't listen to the defense attorneys as much. I kind of always, with the exception of a few of them, like Dan Gilliam, I felt like they were always trying to get an angle over on me. But there were several of them that I know now they were literally.
Are you
trying
talking about your time in Kansas? Because you mentioned
Here.
Dan, he's
Here.
local.
Here.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
using him as an example because I'm sure you know
Right,
him.
I just want to get the transition for our trillions out there that
Sure.
are watching. So,
So-
we're back to you. How
Started here.
Okay.
And there were some attorneys that I felt like were always trying to get over on me. So I didn't, when they would let me screw something up procedurally and not tell me, hey, this is the part where you need to ask for this. Like they
Yeah.
were helping me in lower level arraignments or whatever. When they would tell me something about their clients, like, hey, here's a reason maybe your offer is not good enough. I'd be like, all right, well, I don't trust you. Now that I've done both, I think it makes me more effective, right? Because now I can see the other side of it. But the easy way to separate Boulder City and what I do here is we just don't take cases out there.
Right.
Right. So it's literally a wall. If you have a case over there, I can't help you. And it's not that I wouldn't or I don't want to. It's that, just to keep everything clean, it makes it a lot more simple. However, I did have a situation where when I did a pretrial conference offer on Wednesday, I saw a name and I was like, I know that name, I think. And then when I walked in, sure enough, it was a former client that I had.
Got it. So then you got to
Well,
remove yourself from the case?
no.
No?
I don't think it's a conflict. It's not. It didn't change anything. I literally had 3 cases that same day that had almost the same facts. It was driving unsuspended, and I gave the same offers. So it didn't affect anything. My representation of him back then didn't change how I prosecuted it. So I don't believe there to be a conflict there. Given that they are separated, it's my understanding is that it's if the prior representation would have a material effect on your current representation or your current prosecution, and for me, it didn't.
So when you're baby prosecutor, as you put it, lack of trust with the defense attorneys, that's common, right? There's always going to be a lack of trust on your opponent, right?
Sure.
But then it sounds like you learned who to trust just from being there and doing it, and then also learning, shit, maybe I should listen to some of these people because they're either going to work with me to the best extent they can as a defense attorney, or they're going to be like, all right, yeah, go for it, counselor. And I feel like I've been in that position many times over my career. I mean, you have to, as a defense attorney, fight for your client. That is the number one priority, is their life, their liberty. But at the same time, you have to make sure that you're trying to a certain extent, not every prosecutor is open to that, but you're trying to foster a relationship so that trust is there. So when you get on the phone and say, hey, A, B, C, and D, they know that's rock solid and that can justify it. But then I think there's a problem between prosecutors and defense attorneys, and it can go both ways, as I always say on this show, where if there's not that ability to at least listen to what the other person's saying, then you're going to have no choice, or I'm going to have no choice as a defense attorney. I'm like, hey, and I'm transparent with my clients. I'll tell them, because like, oh, do you know the judge? Do you know this person? And I will tell them flat out what my relationship is. I always say, half joking, like, hey, I don't get beers with these people, like, but they're colleagues and this is what it is. But when it comes down to, one that I'm like, yeah, I don't have a personal problem with them, but this is not the type of person that engages in good faith negotiation. So we have to have a different strategy here. We can't come and say, hey, you know what? Justin is going to listen. He's going to actually read the materials we show. He's going to listen to if I think there's a legal problem, a factual problem, mitigation in personal life, where other prosecutors either won't listen, or they're like, they want to win the case at all costs, and they'll try to take all of that and use it against you. And I think, and you could correct me if I'm wrong or how you do it in your practice, but I think it's important for our clients to have that understanding, to know that inside baseball, if you will, so that they understand the posture of their case. Because, well, why don't we have an update? Why don't we have this? I'm like, because this prosecutor has no interest in returning an email, a phone call, doing anything, and will not do anything until they're forced to, or they end up making a mistake. On the other hand, when you have somebody who is timely in responses, phone calls, texts, emails, everybody does it differently, and we can get stuff done. Maybe, depending on the complexity of the case, we can kind of hit that fast forward button a little bit.
Sure.
Is that like kind of your progression as a prosecutor, and does that also go to the defense attorney side in your experience?
Correct. I think it's the same both directions. And I think a good criminal attorney would be able to utilize the same skill set with each side, because they are opposite sides of the same coin.
It's interesting because I've always said this, they say that there's like true believers. I've only done criminal my entire career here, and I have no interest in leaving. I love my firm. We run a boutique criminal defense firm in Vegas. We're growing. It's awesome. I love my clients, my team. But I wouldn't be mad if I got approached to be like a special prosecutor for a case. I feel like one day before I finally hang up the shingle, it'd be nice to say I prosecuted one case. Do you think it's worth it, or is it just all the same?
Absolutely. No, I think it's great. I think it gives you a different perspective. I would say for you, with your skill set and like your knowledge base, you'd need a complex case, something that you could do from start to finish to really I got my teeth in this. Because otherwise it's like, hey, I need you to come in and wrap this up. Okay.
I want it on video. I'm guilty. Here's your plea offer.
Yeah. I did it, but I didn't,
I think it's interesting because I listen. Justin's got arguments remotely sometimes on Boulder City, and sometimes he'll be doing them in my office. And it's interesting to hear him argue for keeping somebody in jail on a case, whereas most of the time I hear him arguing keeping people out of jail.
First off, Your Honor, a client didn't do nothing. Okay, so write that down.
And I think we know we have some clients who might deserve to stay in a jail cell sometimes for cases of things that they're accused of that are heavy things, right?
Right.
So we try to be practical, because if you can't like remove yourself from your client's POV and look at it how somebody neutral would see it, you're never going to be able to see the case in the right way in order to really tell your client what he might be looking at. Like, what really, I know you're telling me your point of view and what you saw. I don't know if a jury's going to see it the same way.
And I'm sure that's true with personal injury as well as criminal. And that's a hard avenue that we both face in those fields is you are an advocate for your client. That's unquestionable. They want you fully aligned with their interest, and you should be. But then you also have to be the bearer of bad news. And kind of like you were saying earlier about a business partnership. And, you know, I tell my team, and we do intake, when we do consultations, when I speak with clients, before they put $1 down, because unlike PI, that's always tell people, they're like, oh, you pay later. I'm like, no. Criminal defense, you pay first, and then you know it's not no pay until you win. That'd be nice to have those conversations, but you want to have the uncomfortable conversations early. And you know you'll say all kind. Like I remember one time I had a client who an Uber driver was a male, she was a female. He said that he was being disrespectful, rude, was like threatening her, tried to kick her out of the car, and she pulled out a firearm in self protection. Now she ended up not firing it, so you know thank God nobody was injured, but police showed up. They arrested her, assault with deadly weapon, etc. And she said she was on the phone with her boyfriend and like had all this other proof. And I just really said, hey, at the end of the day, this sounds believable, but until I get the body cam footage and I see how you interacted with police, because if you were just losing your shit, like some viral video that we see all day, and it's like the credibility, I'm not saying I can't cure it, because we can obviously spin it into she's emotional, she just got harassed, but I hope we don't have to get to that point. If you're cool as a cucumber, which can be difficult, but you're telling the cop, like, listen, I'm a female, I'm on the phone with my boyfriend, he's yelling at me, saying these things, pulled over, like he comes to grab my door, I pull out my firearm, I show it to him, like I go, if it's that beautifully laid out on the body cam, then I think that this is leaning towards dismissal. I can't guarantee that. No honest lawyer can guarantee that. Another line I like to use, because that's the truth.
We've talked about that.
We have talked about that.
And your line is brilliant.
All right, tell us before we go to our reaction video. Well, one last thing.
You told us, because we were talking about what to do whenever you're competing with a lawyer who's guaranteeing something that you cannot guarantee,
right,
with a straight face, but they're lying, right? Mm-hmm. And you said, I think it was, go get it in the retainer, and if you do, I'll represent you for free.
Get it on their letterhead.
And you've never had anybody come back to get that free representation, because no attorney is going to be dumb enough. Even if they'll say it, they're not dumb enough to write it down. No,
that's exactly true, and I've said that many times over my careers. They say, "Oh, so and so guaranteed this and guaranteed," you know, like DUI is common. They guaranteed a reckless, so they guaranteed a dismissal, whatever. Same thing. I say, great, go back to them, have them sign it, put it on their letterhead, the guarantee. You bring it to me, I'll do your case for free. And then 9 out of 10 times they just like laugh and they're like, "Oh," and then they retain me. Because they're like, come on, like you said, nobody's going to do that. So we're going to hijack a little bit of the Tangled Rights podcast here, because you guys
did something right.
Yeah, there you go.
Love that.
Instead of doing our typical, we usually end the pod with a cross-examine section, and I do some cross-examination on you gentlemen with loose rules of evidence, if you will. But since it's a collaboration with the Tangled Rights podcast and cross-examine Mike Troiano, I want to steal a little bit of your flavor and do a reaction video. So I'm not going to give you any context. We're just going to watch this, and then we'll have a conversation.
What is it, 211 or 311?
I would call fucking 911, honestly. I'm videoing it.
Yeah, they try that on someone. Oh, I bet you they wouldn't do that to me.
I think I need police. I'm literally at the light on Rancho and Okie, and there's this elderly man in a white car, in a red car, and these two guys have gotten off their motorcycles, and I'm not sure what they're about to do. No, they're off of their motorcycles. They're blocking the intersection, and they're like, oh shit! Oh my god!
Oh.
The old guy just got out a gun. I'm sorry, I just panicked. The guy just got out of his red vehicle and he has a gun. Yes, he has a silver gun in his left hand.
Oh my god, I'm shaking. I have it all on video.
We're literally stopped at the light on Rancho and Okie.
That's what he get. That's what he hit?
I'm on Okie heading west. Yes. It's silver and it's small, and the guys on the motorcycles just flagged down a firefighter, but they're the ones that antagonized the guy in the red
And
car.
they have it all on video.
And, yeah, my coworker is videotaping the whole incident. The guy with the gun, he's white and elderly.
I'm gonna let them know I have
He's
it.
probably in his 60s. Probably about 5'5".
I have it.
Put that shit away.
Tell me, what are your thoughts?
Man, so many thoughts. And so this
Thoughts and feelings.
this brings
you do
me back-
thoughts, you do feelings.
this brings me back to whenever I was a prosecutor in Kansas, and my boss, his name was Larry Markle. He's a very good prosecutor. He'd done a lot of things in the county. Never won a contested election though. He was pissed about that. But we were talking about what makes an action reasonable, right? Especially if you're talking about the use of self-defense or using an assault to defend yourself or lethal force. And he brought up to my attention at the time, like, well, I'm 65 years old, Justin. I'm an old man. I'm going to be able to do things that you're not going to be able to do. If you came to beat me up, you could maybe kill me. Goddamn right, I'm going to pull my gun out and shoot you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, hadn't thought about that, Larry, but that makes sense, right? And so there's a lot of stuff going on there. You know, you've got which one am I analyzing this for? The man or the guys?
However you want, man. This is
So
free
there's-
form here.
there's
Whatever
so
whatever
many-
feelings come
there's
out of
so
you from
many
watching
issues,
that.
right? It didn't. It kept going is my bigger problem, right? So the reasonableness of the guy's actions to pull out a firearm, if he'd have pulled the firearm right at the beginning, way less reasonable than there at the end. Once he's boxed in, he's got vehicles around him. However, he is in a car, and they're on motorcycles. If he needed to, he could just push the gas.
Yeah, and I would say that's more of like in the moment, like
Sure.
what he thought. But from a legal aspect, what are your thoughts on what he did?
You can use an assault to defend yourself in certain situations.
You're in reasonable fear.
Reasonable
of
fear
your
of
life.
your life. Yeah. I don't know, because he's in the vehicle. They're not actually trying to get into it yet, but he is an old man and they are young guys on motorcycles being loud. It's scary. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I'm honestly not.
And you said it's a couple, right? Is the wife in the passenger seat?
Yeah, they're both elderly gentlemen and married couple. Yeah, man and woman in the vehicle. So what are your thoughts?
That's a huge factor, right? And we always talk to clients, every fact matters. If he has his wife in the passenger seat, like I would do things, you know, with my wife present or my kids present to protect them that are more heightened than, you know,
If you were just
if I
solo.
was alone.
Yeah.
And also, like, what's her mobility status? Like, 'cause he seemed like he could get up and walk if he needed to, or maybe even run if he had to.
Yeah, not great.
Hers is, well, that changes it too.
Yeah.
If I've got a wife who's, what's the word, invalid? Isn't that the word?
Yes.
They can't walk, like they're wheelchair bound or whatever. I'm obviously not going to run away. And you got these two strapping young lads.
So invalid's a fancy word for I can't walk.
I think
don't know.
it's less use of your legs.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I think
I mean-
maybe your bowels as well. Like,
My wife's physical
invalid-
therapist, so I'm going to ask her what the
Invalid
It's like
might be
FDR, right? Like FDR wasn't, that's what they called him, right? With his,
wheelchair. He drank a
wheelchair
lot.
bound.
no, not the drinking a lot. That's called alcoholism.
Okay. Oh yeah. Damn, I always forget that
I
one.
get those confused.
Oh,
No,
cool.
but that changes it for me too. That makes it more reasonable.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I also don't know what they were saying.
Yeah, the video, I mean, you're right. We don't know what they were saying. So if we're going just solely off the video, to me, it's very shocking because you have two bikers. Again, I don't know if they're in a club, like they like to call it, organization, a club, a gang.
It's a club, Mike.
It's a club. Thank you. Yeah. All right.
It's not
thank
a
you.
gang.
It's not a gang. I don't know. I've represented many bikers, and I feel like one day somebody's gonna like snatch me because I interchange them. But yes, club if we're in the courtroom for sure. It is an organization and a
It
club.
also depends on who my client is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is he the one being accosted? Then it is a gang. Yes.
Exactly.
These gang members.
So I don't know anything about these gentlemen, we'll call them for now. But what I do know is they're riding motorcycles, totally legal, fine. I mean, I don't know how to ride one. I wouldn't ride one in Vegas because
Some of the way they were riding was not legal.
Right, but me more so the way in which they approach, because something happened that made them interact, right? Something on the road, whatever it may be. But you're in that position, and you're first of all confronting them, and they just found out. Advice anybody out there: you assume everybody has a firearm, right? Somebody flips you off, brake checks you in traffic. You want to get home to your family, like whatever that person is. It's not worth it, even if you have a firearm. Like, what are you going to do? Get in a
I'll
shot?
say this as a parent, a new, relatively new parent. If your kid's in the car, don't fucking do it. I don't care. It's not worth it. We just had one on the 95 where an 11-year-old got shot in the head for something stupid.
Yeah.
So don't do that shit if you're a parent.
His dad and the shooter got in some kind of road rage thing. I don't know the facts, so I'm not going to blame. But like you said, like avoid it at all costs.
The kid is an innocent.
But in this particular situation, we've got an elderly couple in a vehicle. Now, at first you were saying that, well, hey, they were in there. They could, I mean, you didn't say it, but I think you were insinuating that they could like run them over or whatever it may be. And that's true. So I don't know, from a self-defense standpoint, maybe you argue one way or the other. But my argument is the defense attorney is you don't need to wait up until the moment that you're actually getting struck. And you got your elderly wife in the vehicle. You got two guys that aren't going anywhere. They're scary. I'm assuming much younger than you. So I don't have any problem with that. I think his actions were reasonable. And the reason that I believe that is not only because I see it in front of me, but he hired me. That's my client, and he paid me. So obviously that's the way it goes down. I will say there's a happy ending to this story. A, super nice guy, super nice couple. B, the detectives and the DA did the right thing. They got a call from the detective, and basically, if my memory serves me, I think he wanted to talk to him, and I might be off on that, but I remember having the conversation with him, and I just was like, hey, man, like, I appreciate, where it sounds like this is going, but you have everything you need. Like, I don't think you need to talk to him. Like, if you have a message to pass along, like, you're going to tell the DA that you want to withdraw the case or dismiss it, whatever it may be. But I don't see any benefit, even though I knew where it was going with it, to do that.
Yeah,
and then contacted the DA. They agreed to drop it. He's happy. Him and his wife are safe.
Fantastic result.
Fantastic result. Absolutely.
Did he get to keep the gun?
They never took the gun. He wasn't even like taken in. It was one of those things they didn't get him till later because the power of the internet and all that kind of stuff. So
because half the time, even if they're going to drop it, we got to forfeit that firearm.
They got to, the forfeiting the firearm is a big thing.
I don't like civil asset forfeiture at all.
Gents, I appreciate you guys coming on. We're wrapping it up.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate you, buddy.